episode 13 for Ilyse. Today I'm going to an audition in Springfield, which is the capital of Illinois. I know everyone thinks it's Chicago, but it's not. And I thought it would be a good time to share maybe a little tour of Springfield while I'm there. Right now I'm just starting out. I allowed plenty of time for getting lost, which may leave just enough time to go and see a little of the Capitol building before I actually have to go into the audition. Here I hope you'll be able to catch a bit of a view of Peoria as I pass out of it. Peoria is picturesque in its way. It's definitely not a tourist destination in terms of big famous things, but it really is nice looking. You'll see we're about to go through the bridge, across the bridge. I believe this bridge is called Michael Bridge, and as I cross it, this means that I am leaving Peoria now. Maybe appropriately, in Springfield we see the first evidences of spring. Something's in bloom. Here's the Capitol building. This is as close as I can park. I'll check the meters in a second or two to see whether I'll be able to leave my car. I'm not sure what's going on with the parking meters, to be honest. Here's a building next door to the Capitol building. Hey, so I got really lucky. These parking meters, apparently they're only valid Monday through Friday. So we're gonna look at some Capitol building stuff. Well, come here and first thing you see is no bicycles or skateboard riding on this property. Violators will be prosecuted. Got that? Like we have here a statue of Abraham Lincoln in bronze against the lovely backdrop of a crane. We have some kind of Liberty Bell type thing. Mass and Stowe Phil Lad McCulleat. Whatever. Okay. Proclaim liberty throughout all the land, unto all inhabitants thereof. And on the underneath line it says, by order of the State House of Pennsylvania. In case you wondered, we are liberated by the State House of Pennsylvania. Ooh, that's a nice building back there. Wonder what that is. Bench by a fountain. A sign declaring steps. After climbing about 4 sets of stairs to get here, not really flights, more like half flights. You got that? There's steps. And here we have more evidence of spring in Springfield. They've got a bit of a garden. Somebody else's statue. The statue says John M. Palmer. Don't ask me who that is. But here we get a closer view of the Capitol building. It's about 3 or 4 stories tall. There's that sign that says steps. Got that?
There are steps there.
You can see the eagle on the second story. Oh, and the sign saying the state of Illinois. In case you hadn't figured out, not only are there steps on the Capitol building of Illinois, but it's also located in the state of Illinois. Would you ever have guessed? And a tomb to the soldiers and sailors of Sangamon Company who served in the World War. This tree is dedicated by Springfield Chapter Daughters of the American Revolution, June 14th, 1919. Here is the tree. This tree must be over 100 years old. Unless it's been replanted since then. Across the street we have a statue of Martin Luther King Jr. and a sign that says Bike Lane to Lincoln Tomb. That's interesting. Maybe we can find Lincoln's tomb. Well, the building's not as nice, but this says State of Illinois Armory. Huh. Must have some kind of military supplies or something. It's much less decorative as a building. By height, it might be maybe 3 or 4 stories high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stories high. Huh. Well, so this is where you go to get your bombs, huh? Well, I didn't find Lincoln's tomb, but it looks like I found a whole slew of tourist attractions here. This here says Historic Union Station. I must say, Union Stations seem to be fairly fancy places for what they are. So here we have the other side of the same building. Now, I want to say it was just on the street corner over there that I saw a sign that said Historic Capitol Building. So I'm not sure if this is a Union Station or Capitol Building, or maybe it was a Capitol Building and became a Union Station. This over here looks to be the Lincoln Museum. And this has got me a little puzzled. That guy on the bench hasn't moved and he kind of looks bronze. I want to see if this is a real person or if that's a statue, because that's a little creepy, to be honest. What do you know? We have a statue of Abraham Lincoln casually sitting on a park bench. That's not creepy at all. Hey there, how's it going? A little cold this time of year, don't you think? But yes, here we have a statue of Abraham Lincoln. It's kind of inspiring what's written on the paper though. Fake paper. It says, here, I'll just read it to you. With malice towards none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right, as God gives us to see the right, let us strive to finish the work we are in, to bind up the nation's wounds, to something or other for him who shall have borne battle, and for his widows and his orphans, to do all that we can achieve and cherish a just and a lasting peace among ourselves and with all nations. Signed Abraham Lincoln, or A. Lincoln. That's actually kind of moving. Another sign of spring. Do you see the little bird? It's kind of hard to see on the video. Much easier to see in person. He's moving over there, though. You can hear other birds chirping. Here we have like benches and stuff, I guess, for the bus stops. Interestingly, I met a guy who was also a tourist who said he was from Ukraine. And he was talking to me. I couldn't understand most of what he said, but he gave me a coin he said is from his Ukraine money. Just a trinket, I guess, to remember Ukraine. in all, what I'd say about Springfield is it doesn't really look like a rich town. I was expecting much, much wealthier than what I saw here. And it doesn't really seem like all that much of a touristy town. I mean, I keep finding all these, no parking and so on, like Chicago or something. But when I actually go up to the meters, I find, Monday through Friday only, and there's no cars here. I'm the only one. It's like it used to be a tourist town, and now it's kind of stopped being an attraction. I feel like there's not a lot of money here, and there's not a lot of tourist traffic here, but there's an awful lot of history here. And it's really cool stuff, too. Probably deserves a better tour guide than I could ever be. Hey, maybe you'll be down here someday. Or you could try going to the capital of the state you're in, which I forget which one that is, but Google state capital and it will tell you. Too good to pass up the funeral homes here. First of all, so we have the Lady Dog and her puppy funeral home. Right across from the funeral homes we have the Springfield Police Department of Internal Affairs, just in case there's anything fishy going on. Got parking for the Stab Funeral Home. Bring your loved one to a final resting place here. We'll make sure they're dead at the Stab Funeral Home. Well, that drive back was absolutely awful. All my technology ran out of battery, and I was lost, and I was like 3 hours doing a 1 hour drive. But all's well that ends well. And I can just see you now having way too much fun, the same as I did about that Stab Funeral Home. Alright, well, for other more historical-based documentary-type things, be sure to check out The Chosen. See you next week!